Now, just 132 days before taking oath as Karnataka Chief Minister, Chief Minister B.S. Yeddyurappa's fate has now been sealed as votes were cast for 15 Karnataka Assembly seats. 60% bumper turnout has been recorded till 5 p.m. But here is why it's a crucial test for the BSY government. Now, Yeddyurappa needs 7 of these 15 seats. In fact, he needs 6 of these 15 seats. Mind you, 17 were to go for Bypolls. 2 will go later. He will need 1 of the 2 as well. So out of 17 seats, BSY needs 7. And out of 15 seats, BSY needs 6 to keep his government afloat. Meanwhile, the Congress and the JDS have claimed that the BJP is poaching their MLAs through Operation Kamala. But first up, let's take you through the big exit poll numbers that we are getting in. Of course, these are not our numbers. We want to put a disclaimer right up. But these are numbers which other publications, television news channels have come up with. And all of them seem to suggest a comfortable win for the BJP. The BJP going ahead of the 6-seat number, which it requires desperately. Let's take you through Power TV all right, so this is the poll of polls that we've got for you. You have Power TV right up there. The BJP seems very comfortable between 18 to 12 seats of 15. On the other hand, Congress has about 3 to 6. The JDS 0 to 2. Others 1. Public TV's exit poll predicts the same number, close to 8 to 10 for the BJP. 3 to 5 for the Congress. JDS 1 to 2. Others 1. BTV says 9 for the BJP. 3 for the Congress, 2 for the JDS, others 1. Now, the latest one, Digvijaya News, 9 to 11 for the BJP, 2 to 4 for the Congress, and 0 to 2 for the JDS, and 0 to 1 for others. So this is what it looks like, the basic poll of polls. All of them, like at least these 4 of them, predicting a comfortable win. A comfortable win for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mind you, once again, of the 15, the BJP needs just 6 of the 17, and 2 have not gone to polls today for some issues, some administrative, legislative issues, and they will go later. So of the 17, the BJP needs 7, but of the 15 we just showed you, the BJP needs 6. So exit polls show a comfortable win for BJP, which would be a big sigh of relief if BSY is going to go with these exit poll figures. But let's take you through the big questions we're asking this evening. Our first question: will B.S. Yeddyurappa clear the Bypoll test? It's crucial because not just for the BJP, BSY's fate also hangs in balance here. The second question we ask, well, will the BJP be able to hold on to its only citadel in the south? The Bypoll win, a battle of prestige for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And BSY's fate hanging in balance, hinging on the Bypolls there. If he loses this, he could very well face a cut from the Bharatiya Janata Party. And mind you, till date, he has never really completed a full term in Karnataka. For the JDS, this is a fight to stay relevant. Kumaraswamy's men are already talking to BJP. He needs to get a sizable share to possibly be the kingmaker. And that prompts me to our next question. Will JDS play the kingmaker? And lastly, will defectors be punished? Out of the 15, at least 12 are defectors from the Congress and JDS. Mind you, that drama which took place, who are now fighting on a BJP ticket. Will they be punished by the voters because they had one on a Congress and a JDS ticket, and now they are coming back into the fray on a BJP ticket? All right, so let's cut across to our panelists this evening. I have with me Ramesh Babu, spokesperson JDS. The JDS hoping to be the kingmaker or at least stay relevant, hoping to get a few of the 15 seats there. I have Amit Malviya, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, Nasir Hussain, MP Rajya Sabha from the Congress, and Sandeep Shastri, political scientist, and T.M. Veera Raghav, senior journalist. I also have Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst. Before I go to our political panel, I'd like to cut across to our political scientist here, who we have with Mr. Shastri. What do you reckon? If exit polls are to go by, then the BJP should sail comfortably, Mr. Shastri.
Yes, Preeti. If the exit poll numbers are right, the Bypoll test is something that the BSY government may survive. But I think there is a much bigger examination. Having survived this test, I think the euphoria of that survival, many would wonder how long will it last, because one is reminded of what happened in 2008, 2009, when the same BJP was actually taken on the wrong path because of a similar development, winning Bypolls, getting people from other party to their side, and that started the crisis within the BJP government. So one is wondering whether history will repeat itself this time with the possible victory if your Bypoll results, if your
No, this is not our Bypoll results. I immediately want to...
the Bypoll exit, whatever the exit
Mr. Shastri, this is not our exit polls. And I want to make that very clear.
I mean, the exit polls you are referring to.
All right, so these are exit polls by various publications, by various local channels, and we're just putting a poll of polls there. And right before I even say that, and we can't stress on it enough, these are not our numbers. We are putting out exit poll numbers of other publication and channels. And I will go to our political best, but let me cut across to Veera Raghav as well, senior journalist. Veera Raghav, if these exit poll numbers are to go by, then it seems that the BJP is comfortable. They need 6 of the 15, 7 of the 17, 15 have gone to polls today, and these numbers suggest they'll be comfortable.
That's right. There seems to be a sense of confidence within the BJP, but I think the fight is tough at the grassroots level. I think there's a lot of bitter ego battles at an individual level from constituency to constituency. So I'm not too sure. I wouldn't take these exit polls. This is not like a trend election where you can take an exit poll to have an idea of what's happening. I think things are happening from constituency to constituency. But having said that, even if these candidates are going to win, I think this is a serious issue. This election have been fought, at least from the opposition's point of view, as a referendum on candidates taking their mandate from 2018 and virtually walking to another side through the resignation process. So the question of whether that practice is, whether voters will accept that kind of a practice will also be under test. And I think it is a very serious issue, as Mr. Shastri said. Even if these candidates win through and the BJP manages to scrape through and hold on to power, how is it going to deal with this? And are we setting a very difficult precedent in this issue? Remember, Maharashtra is again a coalition government that's been formed. Now, are we looking at a precedent in terms of ways in which an unstable government can be toppled? So I think serious questions are at stake here, no matter what the results are, even if it is in favor of the BJP.
All right, okay, Amit Malviya, you should be glad because you needed 6, it seems, at least the exit polls, that we're referring to, and we've just done a poll of polls there. None of of these are our numbers, but they seem to suggest numbers way over 6. You seem to be comfortable.
Well, Preeti, I think we'll do much better than what these exit polls have predicted. We may win up to 12 seats, if not more. That's what our estimate looks like. But we have to look at why we would get such an overwhelming mandate. The fact is that in 2018, the BJP was the single largest party and the mood and the mandate was in its favor. However, the Congress and the JDS got together to form an alliance. And having formed an alliance, their inability to make it work is what really caused a lot of consternation within their fold, and a few MLAs, of course, decided to part ways. And now that the Bypolls have been necessitated as a result of that, I'm quite sure the people of Karnataka realize that electing these candidates who are contesting on a BJP ticket is the surest way to ensure that the state gets a stable government, is reflective of the mandate that they had originally given, when the state went for poll. And also after these spate of debilitating rains that we saw in the state and the kind of apathy that the Congress JDS government had towards the whole thing, and now how things have moved on and improved for better, all of that will manifest itself in these Bypoll results. And it's quite a upbeat mood in Karnataka. I've not seen anything like this in a Bypoll election so far. So, but, we should wait for
but Mr. Malviya, before I go to our other guest, you also say that, the stability, will come through a BJP government, but you say, knowing very well that your chief minister in Karnataka has never lasted a full term.
Well, that's not something that is exclusive to Mr. Yeddyurappa. Karnataka politics has unfortunately been like this for a very long time. No one, if I remember, Mr. Hegde was the last chief minister to have completed one full term. No chief minister since then has been able to do that. That's the nature of the state's politics, but we are hoping that that will change and Mr. Yeddyurappa will last the full term, and the next government that we see again will be a stable one under the BJP, which will go the whole hog and ensure that the states gets the rightful due it deserves.
All right, okay. Mr. Malviya, stay with me because we're going to also talk about, the position of Mr. Yeddyurappa. And, this is a do or die for him as well. Word coming in from various sources that the BJP, not very fond of him, want him out, and he needs to win this, as such the BJP as well. But I'm going to come right back to you. If you'd allow me to go to our other guest, I have Nasir Hussain from the Congress, and once again, all right, we don't have Mr. Nasir Hussain. We're going to cut across to him, but let's cut across to Ramesh Babu from the JDS. Ramesh Babu, if you look at the exit poll figures, and these are not our numbers, but we've done a poll of polls, and they seem to suggest comfortable win for the BJP. They'll get over 6, which they need to keep in government.
You see, last assembly election in Maharashtra, we have seen the exit poll. All the exit poll, more than 90% given the result in favor of BJP and Shiva Sena. So what happened after the result come out? So the exit poll we are not going to depend upon.
All right, so you're not depending upon the exit polls, but Mr. Babu, I'm sure along with, because as much as it is a test for, say, the BJP, it's also a test for the JDS to be relevant in the scheme of things. You'd be hoping that the numbers that, all these publications and channels are predicting don't hold true and you could be Kingmaker. But if you are in that position, now you seem to be open to an alliance with the BJP as well, aren't you?
Yes, and today we are not thinking to go alliance with BJP or Congress. As a regional party, we are maintaining our separate identity. After the result, I mean after 9th only, our party leaders is going to take the decision on stake of the government.
Okay, Mr. Shastri, the BJP clearly would want to hold on. This is a prestige battle. They've come fresh off Maharashtra. For the JDS as well, won't you reckon that this is a desperate fight also to stay relevant? Kumaraswamy already knows his men are talking to the BJP.
Yeah, I think the Janata Dal in Karnataka politics has been a distant third force for quite some time. And they must be hoping that the BJP not get the numbers that it's expecting in the bypolls so that they then become a relevant force. All this talk of a possible Congress-JDS coalition, I think, is simply kite flying. Because if they were serious about coming together, they would not have put up candidates against each other and possibly ruined their chances. So I think the JDS is looking at retaining its relevance in Karnataka politics, and if the situation so arises that the BJP requires the support of another party, and please remember, your own correspondent has said that BJP could be thinking of an Operation Kamala 3.0. And there are JDS and Congress MLAs waiting for that. So I think in a sense the JDS is looking at an opportunity to retain its relevance in the politics of the state. And one final point, Preeti, I think post Hegde there have been 2 chief ministers who have completed their tenure in Karnataka. One is Siddaramaiah and the other is SM Krishna. Though SM Krishna called for an early poll, both of them completed their entire term as chief ministers.
All right, okay. Well, that's a correction to also what Mr. Malviya was saying. But Mr. Malviya, taking off from what Mr. Shastri just noted, that, most MLAs right now are hoping for Operation Lotus 3.0.
Well, I don't think there is any operation like this happening in the first place. If you have your MLAs who are not happy about the way you are managing situation and the way they find themselves at large to answer their constituents, then it is likely that they will make a political choice for themselves, which is what some of these MLAs have done. Because at the end of the day, the JDS Congress had to make their coalition work, and their leaders were almost bickering every day. The state was seeing the kind of lawlessness or absence of governance, if you like, for almost about 14-15 months. And in that scenario, if certain MLAs decide that their political careers are not safe with the parties that they are with currently, or they don't represent the aspirations of the constituents, then they do make moves. And at the end of the day, they are going to be elected by people after these bypolls.
All right, I'll come to Mr. Razak as well, but Mr. Babu, you heard Amit Malviya that there is no Operation Lotus. Your members are unhappy and they want to switch side. Why are you so worried? Why do you think that the BJP is trying to poach your MLAs?
Definitely, even today the BJP is trying to poach the MLAs of JDS. They are calling several MLAs of JDS, they are offering money, they are offering political power, they are doing all illegal activities. It is against the morality of BJP, it is against the ethics of the democracy. I don't know why the Sangha Parivar is supporting this kind of attitudes in Karnataka. In all the level, BJP is putting all effort to poach the MLAs by Congress and JDS. We are not encouraging that kind of attitude. We will teach a lesson in the today's assembly by-election. We are seeking the support of Karnataka people. We want to teach a lesson to the BJP which are doing Operation BJP.
Mr. Malviya, would you want to respond to that?
First of all, the JDS should worry about why there's so much of discontent amongst their own rank. Secondly, the JDS should answer their own voters that why did they ally with the Congress when they actually fought a bitter battle against each other. Let's not forget that the JDS is confined only to the old Mysore region, and that's where they're in a direct context with the Congress. The BJP is still gaining ground in that region. Now, when you make such opportunistic alliances, it's quite natural that your MLAs will feel unnerved, because what is then their political future going to be? What are they going to tell their people if you are?
But that cuts both ways, Mr. Malviya, and I'll bring in Veera Raghav. I know Abdul Razak wants to come in, but that cuts both ways. So what are your 12 of them today who've gone to polls on a BJP ticket? Most of them fought on a Congress ticket, and I think one on a JDS ticket. So it cuts both ways. When you say, what are you going to go and tell your people? What are they going to tell their people? That they were with the Congress and now they're with the BJP. Do you think defection will be a huge issue? That your, the ones who are standing, the defectors, would be punished by the voters?
Preeti, the question is to me.
No, it's Mr. Malviya, because he said that.
I'll give you a one-off example.
Yes, Mr. Malviya.
Preeti, the fact remains that these MLAs took the decision that they did because they were under pressure from their constituents. There is no other reason why they would make these choices.
Okay.
And the fact is that if the people
Absolutely
supported
wrong.
you in a certain position, and if they were willing to give you another chance, if you were with the party that can probably secure the future of the state better than others, then that's where it is.
Mr.
And
Veera,
the bypoll results will eventually bear out.
I'm coming to
the
Mr.
decisions that
Razak.
they've
Veera
taken.
Raghav, how do you see with what Mr. Malviya is saying, that they were under pressure from their constituents, therefore they switched sides? It's a little naive, wouldn't you reckon, Mr. Malviya? But yes, Mr. Veera Raghav,
Look,
and I'm cutting across to Mr.
One
Razak.
cannot deny the fact that there was.
Yes.
Look, the Congress and the JDS needs to admit that there were turf wars within. There still are turf wars right now within the Congress, so they cannot absolve themselves of the responsibility. But at the same time, the BJP has fielded 13 of these 17 back into the contest. Now, what's the message that they're sending across? That you can get a mandate from the electorate, you can resign, you can shift sides and defeat the spirit of disqualification. I mean, by letter of the law, they may be right, but in spirit, I don't think it's correct. So, you're fielding them back, and if they're going to win, they're going to get their minister's post. So, this is sort of a precedent. It is a dangerous precedent, and I'm sure the BJP is aware of it. Now, look, The problem may have started between the Congress and the JDS, but where it is, I'm sure it's not something that the voters are blind to. However, and these results will definitely be a test of that, but at the same time, these results will also be a test of the individuals and their ability to hold on to some votes. Even if they scrape through, there will be questions asked about the modus operandi, the way they went out of their parent parties. And I'll give you a small example. Yeshwantpur constituency, the BJP candidate today is an ST Somashekar, who was a Congress candidate. He defeated the JDS candidate by 10,000 votes in the 2018 assembly elections. He is now contesting for the BJP. It's now become a BJP versus JDS fight with the Congress as a distant third in that particular constituency. But how are you going to justify an ST Somashekar tomorrow in a constituency where a BJP candidate was actually strong? In let's say another constituency in North Karnataka where a BJP candidate was actually strong. How are you going to justify it to your own party and at the grassroots? I think it's going to be a challenge for the BJP. It's not as easy as it's played out on television studios.
You know, I'm going to come right back to Veera Raghav because we're going to talk about the biggest stakeholders in this and what to expect whichever way the results go on Monday. But Abdul Razak, I know you've been wanting to make a point. Go ahead.
Preeti, first of all, the people of Karnataka are very innocent, but at the same time, they are intelligent as well. They very well know what exactly, made way for these elections. It was the arrogance, haste, hunger and greed for power of the BJP that made way for these elections. Firstly, of the 4 months government of B.S. Yeddyurappa, you know what we have seen? We had 151 hectares of land being, the crops of these lands were destroyed in the recent floods. We had losses worth up to 60,000 crores. We requested the central government, which is again a BJP government. We expected some relief for these things, but all that we got was just 1,200 crores as the interim relief, and the central government is still up to give whatever relief fund they had to give. They have not given anything. The BJP went to the people asking for votes. For what? To stay in power? What have they done for the people of Karnataka? The Siddaramaiah government earlier, whatever schemes they had bought, that was presented in front of the people. People reject BJP's, haste and arrogant government.
No,
you can see it happening in West Bengal where all the
I think that would be a little forward for you to suggest what you're suggesting. I think it because the mandate still did go to Mr. B.S. Yeddyurappa. He didn't have the entire, he didn't win the entire mandate, but it was in favor.
If you look at the vote share, 38% is what the Congress got and 36% is what the BJP got. Maybe in terms of numbers,
yes,
the BJP was up, but the mandate, if you look at, 38% is what the Congress got. So I'm saying people rejected the BJP government. They won the election, won 105 seats. 105 seats is what they won. That would be numbers. But electorally, vote percentage, maximum number of people voted for Congress. That is rejection of the BJP, firstly. Secondly, Preeti, Yeddyurappa ji has been a chief minister 4 times. He has never been able to complete his term.
Yes, we spoke about that. All right, what I'm going to do is I need to wrap this debate.
If you look at the recent Maha Aghadi that has been formed in Maharashtra, I mean that could be once again replicated in Karnataka as well.
But
people have that
But the Maha Aghadi has been given the Karnataka example. The Maha Aghadi has been given the Karnataka example for how things can go completely awry. But having said that, let's take final comments. I'll go across to Mr. Shastri. Mr. Shastri, come the 9th when the results are out, who are the biggest stakeholders as per you and who could be the biggest losers in all of this going ahead?
Biggest stakeholder, I think, clearly will be the Chief Minister, whose survival depends on winning 6 or 7 seats. Who is the biggest loser? I would go with Veera and say I think the biggest loser in this whole process is the Karnataka voter, I think, who deserves much better and does not deserve to make a choice of a representative who was a part of a particular party one day and decided to cross over to another party the next day. I think it's a very sad commentary on the way democracy functions in this country, and I think the Karnataka voter deserves much more and is the biggest loser in this whole process.
Well, the Karnataka voter has been had quite a number of times earlier on as well, Veera Raghav, but yes, as per you, who do you think has maximum to lose come the 9th, because that's when the results will come out?
Well, apart from what Mr. Shastri said, apart from the voters, I think the one who has maximum stakes here is, of course, the man on your screens, B.S. Yeddyurappa, not the man who's waving on your screens right now, B.S. Yeddyurappa. He is the one who has maximum stakes, and along with him, the stakes are maximum for all these rebel MLAs. If they are decisively defeated, it's not a defeat for the BJP, and I'm not talking of partisan politics here. If they are decisively defeated, it is a lesson and a categorical message from the voters that defectors will not be allowed. If they win and they come back to power and become ministers, it is a message that you can go either ways, you can go any way, as long as you're a strong MLA, you can do what you want with the mandate you get, and you will survive in Indian politics. I think that's really the biggest test here.
But also the template of that has only been strengthened by what's happened in Maharashtra. But Mr. Babu, let's talk about which way, would the JDS go in case they have the numbers, which could, dictate the narrative come Monday onwards. What about the Congress? Most say that you're going to go back to the BJP after what had been an extremely uneasy alliance with the Congress. Will you go with the Congress or with the BJP?
The BJP and Congress is the same faces of the one coin. We are not going to believe either BJP nor Congress. All the national parties all the time putting effort to finish the regional parties. So we know the fact. First, we have to save the interest of Karnataka people as well as voters of the Karnataka. In that angle and on the regional issue, we are going to take the decision. We are not hurry in taking the decision. We will wait till 9th of this month. After the result come out, we are going to take decision in the interest of our state, in the interest of our language, in the interest of Karnataka.
But you say they're both the sides of the same coin, but you did support the Congress, you formed government the last time around. What happened then?
It was inevitable. In democracy, the number game is important. We have to give the government to the people. Once the election is over, the government has to be formed according to the provision of law. That is why you have taken the decision to join hands with the Congress. It was the situation that time. But now the situation is different. We are not depending upon Congress or BJP. Now, if the situation arises in the interest of state only, we are going to take the decision. We are not favored to BJP nor Congress.
All right, okay, let me end with Mr. Malviya. Mr. Malviya, there's enough surround sound where the BJP is concerned as well. What if, Mr. Yeddyurappa is unable to cobble up even the 6 that he needs right now? Because it seems the knives are out even for Mr. Yeddyurappa. That is what, most people behind the scenes would tell you. Where the BJP, inside the BJP camp.
Preeti, Mr. Yeddyurappa is a survivor. He's perhaps the most vilified politician in the country, and people have been in a hurry to write his obituary, but he rises back and emerges stronger. As far as these Bypolls are concerned, let me be very clear. The ultimate winner will be the people of Karnataka, who will get the government that they initially voted for, the government that they gave a mandate for, which was unfortunately denied to them because the Congress and the JDS came together in an opportunistic alliance. The smallest party got their chief minister. That is going to be undone in these Bypolls. The state will have a stable government and put it back on path to progress.
All right, but Mr. Shastri, I'll ask you a quick question. Amit Malviya says everybody's been very quick to write the obituary of Mr. Yeddyurappa. But, word has it that the state unit of Karnataka or even the centre are not very happy with Mr. Yeddyurappa. If come Monday and he doesn't cobble up the numbers, it's end of the road for him, isn't it?
No, I don't think anybody on this channel was writing off Mr. Yeddyurappa. He has been a fighter and will remain a fighter. If things don't work out the way the BJP would want on Monday, I think they still would depend on Mr. Yeddyurappa, and especially after Maharashtra and Haryana developments, I'm not too sure whether the central leadership of the BJP can at this stage give up Mr. Yeddyurappa or think of a replacement. I think national developments within the BJP have forced the BJP in Karnataka to go back to Yeddyurappa.
All right. Veera Raghav, you want to add to that?
I think finally, I think it's in all likelihood Mr. Yeddyurappa will scrape through, given that the BJP is there in the state government. But I think that the stakes on this one is much larger, and I think Congress and JDS need to really look into and answer their own turf wars, their own issues, how they could squander the opportunity that they had in 2018.
All right. With that, I'm going to close this edition or this debate. At News Today, but do stay with us. We're going to keep a keen eye. We're going to get you the very latest coming in come Monday, because that's when the results will come in of the 15 constituencies which went to by-elections today. Thank you. A quick break. On the other side, we should focus on the Unnao rape survivor statement that is revealed.